You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Come along with us on the third annual Spring Shop Tour Series as we zip across the country, highlighting the success and achievement of some of the best landscaping companies in the industry. In these exciting interviews, you'll hear how these business owners are building their incredible teams, growing successful brands, and how their shops and facilities have been game changers for growth. We want to thank Equipment Defender, Cujo Yardware, Ballard Products, and Landscape Management Software, LMN, this year's tour sponsors for their partnership and support. And now, let's jump into this engaging interview with your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, guys, we are jumping right on into it here. Joining you guys live from the actual, I don't call it studio, but the, what is this, a sales office?
Just kind of actually one of our smaller conference rooms, kind of the more laid back, casual rooms to really kind of get open.
You got a little lounge space here at the Hidden Creek HQ, hanging out with Jason. Dude, first off, before we jump too much into it, I have this like esoteric moment here. I'm walking through here and I'm like, we can do this. This could be us in 10 years. Absolutely beautiful facility. You guys have it going on. If you guys have not watched the YouTube video, I invite you guys to check that out at the Brian's All Maintenance YouTube channel. One of, I think, guilty pleasure, one of my favorite shop tours I've done so far. So
that's awesome, man. Appreciate that.
You guys got it going on. For anybody who hasn't watched the video and knows like where you guys are at and what you have going on, I always call it like the highlight reel.
Sure.
Can you give us like a 2-minute, let's take it from the top. For anybody who doesn't know who you guys are, I'm telling you, they're going to know who you guys are moving forward because you got it going on. But what's your background? How'd you get started doing all this?
You know, like all good landscape owners, right? At one point in my young adult life, I had a mower and I needed to make some money. So I started pushing mowers around the neighborhood, right? Asking, and, I had my green old lawn boy. It was great. It was my favorite thing. And I could go do it on my own. I was my own entrepreneur, right? But I had no desire at that time to go into landscaping. I just needed some money for gas, right? But then I got to college. I went into landscape architecture. And I happened to meet a guy in landscape architecture who became my instant best friend.
Okay.
And after about a year in studio, we're like, you know what, this isn't fun. I'd rather be out in the field. So we switched to landscape horticulture. And after a little bit of time, I'm like, you just want to be business partners? He's like, I mean, sure, why not? What else are we doing, right?
Sure. So
we were bartending at night. We were going to classes during the day. And then we were landscaping on the weekends. We had no idea what it was going to become. At that time, we were just trying to figure out what we were going to do with the rest of our lives.
Right.
That wasn't the rest of our lives plan at the time.
Sure.
Right? It was just, that's what we're doing for now. Then you get married and then all of a sudden you have kids and your wife's like, so what are we doing here?
Right.
I was like, I'm going to really take this up a notch. So we started very simple, a pickup truck and 2 wheelbarrows, right?
Wow.
How hard can it be?
Right.
It's become a lot bigger than that.
The rest, they say, is history, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully we'll unpackage a little of that today. Did you always see it, as a $25 million company, going to $100 million here over the next 5-10 years? Or was this, like you said, just a small business, something that you guys could do to create an income? You're, graduating college, you're fresh out of college.
Yeah.
Where did you see this whole thing? Like, obviously super passionate about the industry. I mean, by the way, where did you go to college? Everybody's going to want to know.
It's called the Ohio State University.
I figured. Okay, Here we go. I'm from Michigan. Here we go. Don't throw any stones. Oh, I got an OH over here? Come on. I'm in hostile territory, folks.
All the time. I'll talk slow for you. Don't worry. We'll take our time.
Yeah, okay, so hold on really quick. You know how they always say, how do you know somebody's a fighter pilot? They'll tell you.
Yeah.
How do you know somebody went to Ohio State? They'll tell you. You know what I mean? So it's always funny. Like, I don't know. At least they spell it out for everybody, though. You know what I'm saying, Mark?
Yeah, we kept it easy in this state. But if you get on a plane, you go anywhere and you yell at OH, guarantee you someone's saying IO.
Oh, my God. It is true. At my own conference, I'll say that. And you get, 10 buck nuts. And I'm like, well, that's probably the only word they can smell. But hey, we'll take them anyway, Hey, you're the big fish here. So there's no way I'm going to trump card this one. So the Ohio State, and you said it was horticulture?
Yeah, my degree is actually in landscape horticulture.
Okay,
with a minor in landscape architecture and a minor in construction management.
Okay, cool. Okay, so did you weren't probably going to go the route of lawn maintenance exclusively, specifically. Do you like building things? Is that the idea? And the outdoor living spaces?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I actually went to school for architecture.
Okay,
Again,
right.
I was just mowing grass to make some money.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm going to build something. I always wanted to build something. Right? I wanted something to show for my work. And, then I started getting landscape jobs in the summertime after doing my own. And I was like, man, this is pretty awesome.
Okay.
I love it. I just like being outside. So I switched from architecture to landscape architecture because then again, I could create and use this creativity.
Sure.
But I got the worst marks on my penmanship. I couldn't draw. They're like, man, you're super creative, but your attention to detail is terrible on drawing. So you know what? I was like, I'm just going to build it. And kind of really liked using my hands. And that was a big thing. And my business partner, like I said, he was the exact same.
Okay.
I grew up right here in Columbus, Ohio. Went to Catholic schools, all this. He grew up in Zanesville, Ohio, right?
Okay.
Not to say middle of nowhere, but, grew up on a farm.
Sure.
Two totally different backgrounds, but every day it was like, I bet I can outwork you.
Wow.
And we both thought once we started the business, like, you know what? If we get to $1 million in sales, we'll probably be rich, right? Because we're guaranteed.
It's the first big benchmark. Everybody thinks that's where the money's at.
Yeah. So we get it. And we find like, man, for $1 million. I'm like, you got any money? He's like, I don't got any money. And I was like, our wives are both nurses.
Right.
They were best friends as well too.
Sure.
And, we're relying on them.
Right.
And I was like, we got to go bigger.
Wow.
Right. And we were building up a name pretty quickly, mostly because we actually cared about our clients. Mm-hmm. We were the guys who would get hugs at the end of a project, like they were sad to see us go.
Right.
Because we didn't build them a patio. We gave them an experience.
Yeah.
We had fun with them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was having fun and I was getting paid to do it. Right. They were having fun spending their money. Mm-hmm. That's fun for people. They don't like to spend money and hate it.
Right.
They don't like to spend money and manage you, micromanage you, call, where are you, what's going on.
Sure.
They wanted it to be fun. So if we can make it fun, it was easy.
Did that have some light bulbs go off for you guys at that time? Because you were doing about $1 million, you were saying?
Yeah. I mean, again, long time ago.
Sure.
I think it took us, Mark asked a question the other day. He's like, well, how long did it take you to get $6 million? I'm like, 14 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now you can grow that in a year.
Right.
It's not that hard, but man, if you would have said that, a long time ago, I'm like, there's no way.
Hey, you probably just blew out the eardrums and the microphones and the speakers of everybody's truck going down the road going, 14 million a year. Okay, man, I'm just trying to get my guys to show up and not be smelling like alcohol last night. You know what I'm saying, from the night before. Yeah. So do you?
And I had those employees too, just so we're clear, right? When you work in a bar for the side, you were hiring your other bartenders.
Oh yeah,
trying to get those guys to show up early, it can be a challenge.
The night owl crew, I've got one of my guys. He's more of a night owl guy, and I'm like, hey, we're starting at 7 tomorrow. He's like, all right, let's go. So it's a lifestyle change for him too. But so Hidden Creek, there's so much going on here. There's no way we're going to be able to capture it in just 20 minutes. I'm just thoroughly impressed with the culture here. Everybody has been just incredibly hospitable and just welcoming. You got a great team. I know you guys had a team meeting this morning. Mm-hmm. Mark Bradley's here. You guys know Mark, and he's been on a show many, many times. Amazing individual. It seems like maybe a decade ago, you guys really dropped the hammer, right? Like you really wanted to grow and you wanted to go to that next level, and you adopted LMN. It sounds like no big pitch here for LMN, but I'm telling you, like we recently adopted LMN the last couple months. And folks, I don't know how we were running our business the last 10 years without it. I'm just telling you straight up. And that's for the people that are aspiring to grow, go to the next level. So this last 10, 12 years, I guess, in your guys' journey, going from $1 million to, you said 25 million projected this year?
Correct.
Obviously, that's a huge loaded question, but where were you at, 10 years ago at that million mentally, and where are you guys at today? And how did this all come together?
That's a very big question.
Sure.
So you said, how much time do I have left?
3 days. I got 3 days. Yeah. As long as the memory card goes.
And I'm going to try to pull off as much memory as I can, right? Because if you ask me, what are some things you learned along the way?
Right.
We definitely don't have enough time.
Sure.
I cannot begin to describe how many mistakes I've made. Right. And, if you ask anyone on my team here, I'm a slightly emotional person. I like to call it passionate. They like to call it intense. Right. And, if you see me walking around, my wife always jokes, she's like, yeah, this guy's he says you're really intense. And my wife's like, you were such a wuss. Right. I've been dating her since high school. Right. And she's like, you had no backbone, no spine.
Sure.
But it was funny when I got into this industry and my business became successful, I kind of evolved as a person.
Okay.
Right. This was my confidence.
Right.
I was good at this. Mm-hmm. And when you're really good at something, it's amazing the confidence you get in yourself. Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that was one of the things that the bigger we got, and we would have profit and we would have money, I'm like, well, that was my confidence to say, well, it wasn't that hard. We could do that again. Mm-hmm. And it was, I think 13 years ago, we were doing over $1 million. I have to go back to look exactly when we did the million. But, I knew that I hate to say it, I was somewhat of an overconfident person as well too, right?
Okay.
Even when you're doing $2 million and you're young, you're like, man, look at how successful I am. I'm crushing. I don't need anyone's opinion.
And how old were you guys at that time, if you don't mind me asking?
We started the business at 24 years old.
Okay.
So again,
maybe 30-ish or
yeah,
something
I was still a student at the time, like I said. So we were young and dumb.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to say I'm young and dumb now. Now I can just say I'm not so smart.
Right.
I'm not that young guy anymore.
Sure.
But, with the businesses we were getting, we did finally learn that we needed what a budget was.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I learned that because I was paying attention. I was going to conferences. I was going to, everything you need to go to learn from other people, right? I knew that I didn't have enough information.
Sure.
So you go to a conference, you hear someone speak, and boom, I hear another success story. I'm like, I want to be that guy.
Right.
I've got probably 10 people I've been chasing for years, right? And I get mad at them. I'm like, how'd you do this year? Like, yeah, we didn't do so good. I'm like, you need to do better.
Right.
He's like, well, why? I'm like, well, because I have to keep chasing you. Mm-hmm. And as much as I want to surpass you, I don't want to, because that means I got to go find somebody new.
Absolutely.
And I love chasing you.
It's like the greyhound on the inner part of the track,
totally.
right? You got to have that thing to chase.
These guys are my friends. I mean, I talk to them. We text each other all the time. I mean, it's as much razzing as it is, hey, do you need anything?
Sure.
Sure. How do I handle the situation? I've got a client who's not going to pay me. What would you do? And I will say, when it comes to the industry, this is probably the most open industry there is. Everybody wants to help each other. We might bid against each other, but the bids better be right, because you know how to do a budget. You know what you should be charging per man hour, right? You should have the right equipment. You should take care of the warranty. So those things help along the way, asking those things. And it was LMN that I did my first budget and realized that we weren't charging enough.
Okay.
Right? Didn't understand, again, what overhead was.
Were you guys all top line focused at that time? A lot of guys get top line, 1 to 10 million, top line to the moon.
Totally top line. There's still moments, days today, I'm like, top line.
Sure.
I'm like, but profit's kind of cool.
Right.
Bottom line's a lot more fun to brag about.
Making money's cool too.
But, everyone says, how big are you?
Right.
And the thing I can tell you, when people say, how big are you? I always talk about how many people I have. I like to talk about numbers. I'm like, we got 160 people this year.
Wow.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
When, it sounds funny, you'll be on a plane flying with someone and someone's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I run a landscaping company. Oh, you guys cut grass.
Sure.
Yes, we do that.
Yes.
We do other things. Oh, tell me about your company. I'm like, we have 160 people.
Whoa.
And they just look at you like,
whoa,
I didn't know landscape companies could get that big.
Right.
I'm like, I know you didn't.
Right.
Because they don't think about it. Right? We're kind of these people that are supposed to be ninjas in the middle of the night that come in and magically put together this amazing backyard, right? And we maintain it and clean it up, and we're just supposed to disappear like that.
Wow.
But we're trying to really show people, this industry, by the way, when they voted us essential, I kind of cracked up. I'm like, it took you how long to figure out we were essential?
Hey, it took us 2 more months up in Michigan, so you guys took a dub on that one. We nobody could figure that out back at home. Took us 2 extra months to figure out that, hey, we were actually important. I'm like, hey, thanks. I'm in the construction industry. Who would have thought? Maybe the backbone of the industry, but what do I know?
Truly, right? we're the last guys to clean up everybody else's mess.
That's right.
And we're that curb appeal that always sets a standard for everybody.
Yeah. I would say, if we're not essential, give the grass 2 weeks and then have all your neighbors start calling. So I think we're kind of essential, you know? Whole nother story for a whole other time.
Another day.
Hey guys, Brian here. I get asked all the time, what's the best work shoe or boots for our industry? As some of you probably know, I absolutely love wearing the Cujo Yardwear. A few years ago, I was wondering why there isn't some sort of light, functional shoe for the lawn care industry. Literally a couple weeks later, I get a message from this new company, Cujo Yardwear, letting me know about the new shoe they created for lawn care. I couldn't believe it, so I tested them out for the first year and have been wearing them ever since. Me and my guys love the Cujos because they are light, comfortable, they keep our feet dry and have a great grip, and they're breathable. Plus, they're a family-owned company. Sean and Kelsey are a brother-sister team that seriously care about offering the best products for our industry. They started with the yard shoes, came out with the X1 composite toe boots, and are launching a new slip-on shoe this year. Check them out at Cujo.com. That's Kujo.com. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10%.
Ballard Products has what you need. If you're looking for one place to find all the gear you need, jump on Ballard-Inc.com. With over 30 years in the industry and now celebrating our 25th anniversary selling high-quality products, we've got your back. From mower gear, trailer racks, mower blades, safety gear, and so much more, you'll find everything you need to maximize your efforts and protect your gear in one place. And let's not forget about the carbide titanium gold blade options that cut amazing and last longer between sharpenings, giving you optimum performance in the field. We've got a bunch of new gear coming soon, so make sure that you're following Ballard to stay in the loop. Head over to Ballard-Inc.com today and get geared up. Now, go get after it. Ballard. Do you want to graduate to the next level in your lawn and landscaping business while making sure that you're bidding and pricing your jobs correctly? Are you struggling to know exactly what to charge for the work you're performing and understand what your profit margin will be? Take the guesswork out of scaling your business with the power of LMN. LMN is more than just lawn care routing software to run your business or a CRM to send out invoices and bids. It's an operating system that is the hub to help you grow your company intelligently and get a better handle on your numbers. The fastest and largest growing companies are using LMN, so why not you and why not now? Take the guesswork out of growing your business. Double down on growing and scaling profitably. Use code Brian to sign up today and benefit from their in-depth white glove onboarding experience. Not ready to commit but want to get access to their free budgeting tool? Take advantage of their world-class budgeting resource and a free trial with 0 commitments.
Hey guys, Brian here. I just had to weigh in. I am so excited about LMN and the opportunity that it has given our company to grow, to know our numbers, to be able to bid, price, and estimate accurately and take the guesswork out of future growth and what we're trying to do. Guys, I invite you to check out LMN. It is more than just a CRM. It is more than just creating routes. It is a hub that is going to unlock the future and the possibilities for our company and I believe for yours. Guys, check it out. You'll be so happy that you did.
Check out everything they have to offer at golmn.com, where you'll learn more. And again, remember to use the code Brian to get the best onboarding experience you deserve. Now, back to the tour.
But the things like LMN really helped us. And it's really funny, about every 3 to 5 years, it's like another ceiling.
Wow.
Like we would grow and then it's like, boom, ceiling.
Okay.
And, you kind of dig down and try to push through it and then realize you can't always do that, right? It's not always blood, sweat, and tears.
Are you if I can ask you a little bit about that, and you as candid as you want, but is that a leadership thing? Is that a belief system thing? Is that a skills and talents and equipment and resources thing? Because a lot of guys are trying to grow right now. They're looking to go to that first $1 million mark, or maybe they're at $1 million going to $5 million, and they're thinking, well, it's all about systems, or it's all about the right equipment, or it's all about efficiencies, or I need a building. So what had to change at those different benchmarks or levels of revenue for you? Was it you as a leader?
So, that's a great question. There's tons of different things that kind of come into that, right?
Sure.
The one thing I'll say, if you really want to grow your business, if you really want to grow top line, okay, because that's one question, right? How do you grow top line? It's great customer service.
Okay.
Right? That's how you grow top line.
That's awesome.
That's the only way to do it. You've got to take care of your customers and you've got to get the referrals so you're not spending money on marketing you don't need to spend. I want to spend money on marketing that makes us look a certain way, not to get us the next lead, right? I want that look, I want that image, but the client with the referral, that's what's going to grow top line.
Sure.
Bottom line is efficiencies. That is the right piece of equipment. That's a leader starting to say, quit just doing what you did yesterday. Let's think about it, right? And guys, I have to ask for help all the time. I can yell, scream, all those things. None of those ever worked, right? And I try to inspire, and not always that works. Sometimes you got to put your money where your mouth is, right? You got to challenge people. And that is one of the things that's probably the most critical, right? Is just because what you did 3 years ago doesn't mean it's going to work 3 years later.
Sure.
Right? You have to evolve.
Wow.
You have to be open to change. I'm a guy that reads, 10 books a year. I hate reading. I didn't like college. I didn't like school, right? But now I have to read because that's what's going to make me better, right? I'm a very unorganized person. I just always have been. So I have to carry a journal around with me. So I write down my top 3 goals of the day, and I have my top 3 goals of the week. And these are the things I have to accomplish, because otherwise I'm super disorganized.
Sure.
Right? I forget about it. I can zone out. I tell my wife I'm going to do some research on Instagram. An hour later, I've watched 1,000 reels about nothing.
Never done that before.
Yeah, never. But, to try to get that focused as a leader, you constantly have to make sure you're setting that example for everybody else. And leaders, owners, by the way, we pop off like crazy. What was important yesterday could totally be different today.
Sure.
But you've got to be supported and surrounded by a team as well, too, that's constantly holding you accountable. Self-accountability is everything.
Sure.
So things like, LMN was a big stage for me. This building was a big stage for me. EOS 4 years ago was another big jump for me, right? And here I am again, and I'm starting to hit a wall, and I'm having to rethink everything. So again, I reach out to people in the industry. I reach out to Mark. I'm like, man, I need some help.
Sure.
What can I do? Like, I don't get it. And then he comes in and he writes down things you've like, I knew all those things.
Right.
I just knew them, but I was afraid to put them on because if I wrote it down, someone was going to hold me accountable. You know, and it's talking to your sales team. What's your goal for the week? Well, I'm going to, do you know?
Dial 5 times a day.
Yeah. Do you know what you're going to do today? You know you're going to call these people. I just want to know you're going to close something. You can't sign something if they don't have an estimate.
Wow.
So, you know, it is those little things to always go back to, right? You don't have to overthink it. You know, efficiencies are simple and easy, right? So you really got to simplify it. Just because you're 25 million doesn't mean you have to have a $25 million process.
Sure.
Because what worked at 2 million probably still works today. But someone wanted to come in and put in 10 different things in the middle, and it's like you didn't need any of that.
Right. Yeah, I've heard people say like they start off with a Cessna or a little VLJ, right, and then before you know it, you got this Boeing airplane.
Yeah.
But you're like, dude, let's take all that junk off. Let's get lean and mean, efficiencies and focus and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not to take too much of your time here, we'll probably kind of land the plane here in a second, but I wanted to ask you a question, and this is something I've been trying to ask a lot of folks more often because I've heard people say, and I'm a big subscriber to this, that you get in life by asking the right questions to the right people. And sometimes as myself, as I continue to grow and I aspire to learn new things and, you know, what I might think is important, you might say, yeah, it's kind of important, but actually you should focus on this. So I want to ask you a quick question. No trick question or wrong answer, you know, with this one, but what are people not talking about? What are people not asking you? What are people saying, hey, that people think it's X, Y, and Z, and you're really like, actually, bro, what took us from 10 million to 25 million was this, this, and this. You've been on a huge growth curve the last couple of years. You're super humble right now. Things are growing like really, really well. You have some huge, you know, goals in the next 5 years. What are people not talking about? What are people not focusing on? Where are people getting lost in the weeds that for somebody who's looking to grow, you know, stop chasing the shiny object syndrome, I call it?
Yeah.
So what are people not talking about right now? Or what questions do you wish people would ask you right now that was imperative to your growth?
And you got some great questions. I'm really glad you're asking me all these. So
Sure.
I can feel like a little bit challenged here. You know, there's a couple things in the industry right now that, you know, I'd love to share, but some things that are bothering me right now. And, you know, I'm probably going to offend a couple people on this, but
it's unfiltered, brother.
That's the beauty. I don't have to look at anybody,
Yep.
and I've never really mind offending people. But the whole private equity thing right now kind of coming into industry is a little bit weird for me. You know, for years I've had different consultants come in and it's, you know, build up commercial maintenance so you can sell it someday, right?
Sure.
So you can sell it someday. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't like that. That's, to me, it wasn't sexy, right? Cutting grass isn't sexy. We do it. I want the best lines possible, the best equipment. So we're going to crush it. But I don't need to mow 1 million acres to brag about, right?
Right.
I wanted to kind of make a little bit of a difference. And now the private equity's kind of come into the residential world. It's like, how do I position myself to do this and do that? And while it's great as an owner, right? There's nothing better, you know, more exciting, I guess, for me to know that there's that opportunity. But at the same time, I want to make sure that when it came to this industry, no one really gets into landscape and never get rich. It's an accident. Now, it could be a well-planned out accident, but you really don't start mowing grass in your backyard to be like, man, I cannot wait to have a $25 million business.
For sure.
You're like, I cannot wait to put gas in my car, right? I cannot wait to go party, get some pizzas, and not have to ask mom and dad for money. And then it kind of keeps going to this. So I really want to make sure when it comes to what private equity does is that those owners and everyone who's looking at that realizes, like, what is your company going to be known for 5 years from now when, guess what, private equity's got to get out of it, right? What's that investment? You know, they're going to change you. And yeah, I've been approached and there's days I walk through the door and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
I can't do it.
Sure.
Oh my God, I just cannot, you know? But then I'm like, I look at my team and I'm like, I don't know that that's going to take care of the team that I want to, right?
Right.
You know, every year we don't just grow a team, we grow a family. Well, I have 160 people who work here. If you take everyone with a family of at least 3 people, I got 480 people that I'm responsible for, that I'm feeding. And that's really something that kind of makes me the most proud.
Right.
So when people say, again, how big are you? I'm like, well, I got a team of 160, but I'm feeding 500 people and they're taking care of their people as well too.
Yeah.
So private equity, I don't know that it's going to be the best thing for the industry. I get why it's out there. I get people are out to make money.
Sure.
But if you never got in this to make money in the first place, why are you worried about it now?
Wow.
You know, and so I'm patient.
Yeah.
If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, great. I'm in a great peer group with a bunch of other landscape owners, and I can tell you we're all honest, open, you know, and there's guys in there who are, you know, like, I'm going to sell, I'm never going to sell.
Right.
And we go back and forth. It's
course.
a debate. I'm not right. You know, I'm not wrong. It's just my opinion. I just want to make sure that everyone really, at the end of the day, when you got into this industry, you got into it to do better by yourself and also make money.
That's so good.
Right? So if you still keep doing that, just make sure you really follow through with that.
Give me one more, if you don't mind, because that's more like exiting, if you will, even, or where are we going in 5-10 years?
Yeah.
But give me for the guy that's going from $1 million to maybe 5 or 10 million. We got a lot of folks listening in, and as our company continues to grow, we're attracting more of that audience, lately. And I actually had a buddy just the other day, Lucas. He texted me. He said, the same time last year, we were talking questions like, hey, what mower did you buy? What truck are you getting? What tractor you're looking at? Now it's, hey, how are you bonusing your guys? How are you doing profit share? Hey, where are we going with a company facility? So like the conversation is maturing. So if you have any good advice or again, what are people talking about that they think is important, but it's not important? Actually, they need to focus on this instead. Maybe if they're aspiring to go from $1 million to 5 million or $1 million to 10 million over the next 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah. Again, it's funny as an owner, right? For some reason, we get really obsessed with equipment.
Sure.
We just think it's cool.
Hey, it's
right?
Equipment sexy.
Man, it is. Do you see my truck out there? That's
right.
awesome. Did you see that new skid steer? Actually, I'm not allowed to drive my own equipment.
No.
I didn't pass the safety test.
You're not forklift certified?
I keep forgetting to put the seatbelt on, so they kick me out of my own equipment.
Oh, there you go.
But, when it really comes down to that investment, how you do grow, right? Again, it's going to come down to that customer service, but you have to have the right staff working for you who also understand that. And it's the employees who pull the trash can up to the door, right, without being told to do it.
Right.
It's the ones who don't park in the driveway because they know the homeowner's coming home and they've got to get groceries into the house, right? If your employees do that, they will help you grow.
Wow.
It's not the right marketing. It's not more followers. It's not those other things. It's if your staff is trained to think like you do and treat the client with the respect that you would have done, that's how it's going to grow.
I love it.
Because the neighbors start fighting about it. Like, did you see what those guys did today? They totally dropped what they were doing. They turned off the mower when the homeowner was walking through to make sure they didn't blow grass across the driveway as she's walking.
Sure.
Versus the guy that's like, got his headphones on, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, he's not in uniform, trying to get a tan. Like,
yeah, shirt off, all that mess.
But guess what?
Yeah.
That was the cheap bid.
Wow. Yep.
And you know what? That's what that homeowner values. And that's okay. Every homeowner's got their own value system, right?
Right.
But to us, we want to work for the clients who put the value on those things that are important.
So good.
So if you keep investing in your staff, right, and keep teaching them those lessons, then really the rewards will be endless.
No, I love it. I mean, so good. You guys, if you listen to this podcast episode, you guys think I talk fast. Holy cow. I think we got somebody to trump me. You have to go back and listen to this episode at least 3 or 4 times. I think they say it takes, 7 times to retain something?
Yeah.
So if you guys have, wrote anything down, or maybe you guys are on the mower and the, mower's blaring right now, listen to this again later tonight. Maybe when you guys are going to work out under something, write down some notes and some takeaways here that Jason's sharing with us, because to me, this is gold. This is nuggets that can help you guys grow. It really help you get inspired to go to the next level. And it's practical stuff that you can take action on too, which I always appreciate. And by the way, I saw you guys firsthand put, like you said, your money where your mouth is. You guys had a huge team meeting this morning. Very, very cool experience. There's going to be a bunch of content that comes down the pike here from the LMN folks that are here. And so I'm not going to give it all away, but very unique approach to working on efficiencies and waste. And you guys were giving out cash and these bonuses. Super cool time. Everybody was eating it up. But you can tell that you have a great team. They believe in you, and I know that you believe in them. And it's just an awesome environment that you guys got going on here.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. I really can. I mean, if I could brag about anything, it's definitely the team.
Yeah.
They inspire me to be better.
Absolutely.
And they're actually the push, right? They're the ones that it's like they're looking to me like, how do I make more money? And they're entrusting me to figure that out.
Sure.
Right? But I've got to put some of that pressure back to them. Like, you guys help me, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way a team really wins.
I love it.
No offense, no defense, no special teams. We're just one team going out.
And you said in the meeting, you said, no ego here. You're like, there's no high level, bottom level. We're all one team. I got to get honest with you, more honest with you guys, and you guys got to get more honest with me, because that's how we go to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I took literally probably 12 notes on my phone about stuff that I can take back to my company tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this has been my treat. Like, I'm so thankful, so grateful. We're going to wrap it up right here. Again, you've got like a whole afternoon full of obligations today. You got film crews here, AV people here, crazy stuff going on here. You get the Grow Group is going to be coming here, I think, next year, February?
February 25th through the 27th. We're going to have
awesome.
Grow here. So we hope to have well over 1,000 people checking this whole thing out. So if you haven't looked at Grow or signing up, guys, that's the event of the year. I'm telling you.
So cool. I'm excited for you guys, proud of you guys. We'll wrap it up with the good old, where can people find you guys?
Instagram, we're out there all day, every day.
Yeah.
Check us out on Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Anywhere we can be right now, we're guys, we're trying to show off. Check us out.
Hidden Creek.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time. This has been one of my favorite tours for sure. Thank you for taking the bar and literally resetting it, I think, 3 notches higher.
Yeah.
So they've got some big shoes to fill moving forward. So thank you so much, Jason. Super appreciate you, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks so much.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are 2 things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.